Bitter criticism, our 47-minute show. It's not a show, it's not a show. Oh, look here. Look who came. Mimi. Ven aquí, Mimi. She looks like a cow, isn't it? Mimi. Mimi, come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah. She's cancer, just like me, because that's why we love so much kisses and cuddles. And they have a fight, Luna, and is not so great with Luna, you know. Luna is not so serious, because they are from different clans, you know. They are different gangs. Marlene, Luna's boss. Luna, Marlene is your boss. Do you remember Marlene? Well, she's your boss. Well, Marlene is a boxer. It's like a boxer. And Marlene once beat this beautiful lady here with a tick. Has a tick right now. It's not summer yet, but she has a tick. Look. Stop. She likes, but she's not. But taking ticks from your skin is a painful experience. But I will show you the tick. It's too early for ticks. Mimi, stop. Look, there's the tick. Do you saw? So, if you ever had a tick on your skin, sucking your blood, it's painful, very, very, very painful. There's Tommy. Oh, what the hell with the focus? Yeah. So, very interesting here. So, Mimi over there is part of one clan, not particularly friend of Luna, but definitely an enemy from. Well, Luna is so cool. Luna is absolutely cool. Everybody loves Luna. Cool and crazy. Luna, cool and crazy. Can you see? I just smoked weed yesterday, and now I'm creative again. But I'm always creative. The question about weed is you really enjoy stupid things, you know? You're really happy when you smoke weed, but it's just bullshit, you know? Ask everybody in China or the former Ottoman Empire. It's just bullshit, guys. So don't smoke weed, or do like me and smoke only once a month. Once a month of stupidity. Stupidity once a month. It's not so bad. Maybe it's good, you know. Stupidity once in a while, once a month. So here we are with Mimi. Reading news with Mimi. So having a blast with Mimi. I couldn't keep reading this very nice article from the Cradle or Zero Edge, actually, about JK Jr. RFK Jr. drops reality. Yeah, from Zero Edge by Tyler Durden. Who knows who wrote this, but I will try to finish. Kennedy said that in a series of meetings with Trump and his team, he realized he shared more in common with the former president than he thought. He compared their potential partnership to President Lincoln's famous team of rivals, which saw him stock his cabinet with former foes. And here it comes, the quote. In a series of long, intense discussions, I was surprised to discover that we are aligned on many key issues. In those meetings, he suggests that we join forces as a unity party. We talk about Abraham Lincoln's team of rivals. That arrangement will allow us to disagree publicly and privately and fiercely if need be on issues over which we differ while working together on the existential issues upon which we are in concordance. That was hard. Concordance. Quote, I was ferocious critic of many of the policies during his first administration, and there are still issues and approaches upon which we continue to have very serious differences. Maybe racism and bullshit. That's the question. Nobody can. Well, that's the question in which Trump is a very good politician, actually, because I will not say Trump is my candidate, my perfect candidate, about like me, myself, an Italian Chilean poor guy, an Italian Chilean poor guy in a terrible country, which is Chile. It's not my candidate, of course not. Trump is the president of the United States, is a nominee for the U.S. presidency, but the U.S. is not a country full of unfortunate Chileans, you know. It's a country full of unfortunate Americans. Unfortunate Americans, yeah. I don't remember now. What is the name Hillary Clinton says? Well, that name. Deplorable, yeah. America is a country full of deplorable people who don't want to be called like that, but who cares about Hillary Clinton, you know? She's a cheated woman, so ugly. She's deplorable, you know? Anyway, she's deplorable. I was ferocious critic of many of the policies during his first administration, and there are still issues and approaches upon which we continue to have very serious differences. End of quote. And quote again, Kennedy Jr. But we are aligned with each other on other key issues like ending the forever wars, ending the childhood disease epidemics, securing the border, protecting freedom of speech, unraveling the corporate capture of our regulatory agencies, getting the U.S. intelligence agencies out of the business of propagandizing, the censoring and surveilling Americans, and interfering with our elections. End of quote. And quote again. Suspending my candidacy is a hard trending decision for me, but I'm convinced that it's the best hope or ending the Ukraine war and ending the chronic disease epidemic that is eroding our nation's vitality from the inside, and for finally protecting free speech. Quote, I feel a moral obligation to use this opportunity to save millions of American children above all things. There's an epidemic in, well, I'm not sure about. You know, yeah, I guess this is not real, you know, this children dying. Doesn't matter at all, you know. Your kid died, well, make another one. Very simple. This, I guess, is bullshit. This guy, Thomas Todd, I guess. He said Soviet Union collapsed because of children mortality, but That to me is bullshit, isn't it? Hey, Mimi, Mimi is sterilized, so there will be no more puppies from Mimi. But that doesn't matter, Anyway, most notably, RFK Jr. admitted in front of the nation that he attempted to contract VP Harris first, and that she neither wanted to talk or meet with him is a strong message to independent voters. I guess it's not Kamala Harris, but VP Harris. Who knows that? Who the hell is that? I know, Vice President Harris. Oh yeah. Quote, following my first discussion with President Trump, I tried unsuccessfully to open similar discussions with Vice President Harris. Vice President Harris declined to meet or even to speak with me. Democrats want nothing to do with you. Republicans will at least give you a seat at the table. Yeah, Democrats, they are just cyborgs, they are like dolls. They are not real people. They just do Zelensky, all these people, they are just not real people, they are just Muppets and dolls, not real people. They just do whatever the rulers of the world, the masters of the universe, they want them to do. As Pepe always said, masters of the universe. Anyway, RFK addressed details on the Russia-Ukraine war via Kyle Baker. Quote, we have pushed Russia closer to China and Iran. We are closer to the brink of nuclear exchange that at any time since 1962. And the neocons in the White House don't seem to care at all. All those are quotes from Kennedy Jr. This is a first-class calamity for our country, judging by her bellicose, belligerent speech last night in Chicago. We can assume that President Harris will be an enthusiastic for this and other neocon military adventures. Neocon military adventures. That's the question. Those are the masters of the universe. Anyway, more quotes. President Trump says he will reopen negotiations with President Putin and end the war overnight as soon as he becomes president. Quote, this alone will justify my support for his campaign. Yeah, this is just what I told Ben Norton from some channel with 3 words, geopolitical analysis and stuff. He was just saying Trump is just as bad as Biden and Kamala Harris and so on. It's not, It's not. Trump is not so bad as Kamala Harris. Last summer, quote, all of these are quotes. Last summer, I looked like no candidate was willing to negotiate a quick end to the Ukraine war, to tackle the chronic disease epidemic, to protect free speech, our constitutional freedoms, to clean corporate influence out of our government, or to defy the neocons on their agenda of endless military adventurism. More quotes. But now, one of the 2 candidates has adopted this issue as his own to the point where he has asked to enlist me in his administration, and maybe also Elon Musk. So pay attention. Kennedy Jr. is a nice guy. Elon Musk is not. So the Global South is always losing with America, Definitely, but you have to be pragmatic. The Democrats are so so worst. They are so more worse than everything. They are the worst people in the world. They are killing everybody in Gaza right now. Anthony Blinken. And the last quote, I guess. But now, one of the two candidates has adopted this issue as his own, to the point where he has asked to enlist me in his administration. I am speaking, of course, of Donald Trump. Trump expressed his gratitude. We have a tweet from X. President Trump, we just had a very nice endorsement from RFK Jr. and a video. And that's it, I guess. Yeah, no. There's more. This is a very large article, very long. As Kyle Baker wrote on X, former Twitter, I don't think a politician has ever moved me emotionally like RFK Jr. did in his speech since at least Ronald Reagan. Truly sincere and stirring speech that speaks highly of his intellectual honesty and moral integrity. The truth is a very powerful thing. It is obvious why social media giants and captured corporate media colluded so closely to deprive RFK Jr. of a bigger platform. And the attacks began. In response to RFK Jr.'s endorsement of Trump, his family members have issued a strong statement condemning the move. Quote, our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story. What? So yeah, Americans are, I guess, these English people, maybe the Nordic people too, they are not so smart, They are not pragmatic. They are idealistic, Yeah, they are idealistic. They are crazy. That's the truth. They are just crazy. They are just hypocritical. We are talking about real world here, We are talking about end of war. We are not talking about fantasies or romances, We're talking about real things. The Trump campaign has just released a memo on RFK Jr. dropping out and endorsing the former president. Quote, as you can clearly see in every single state, RFK Jr.'s vote breaks for President Trump. Yeah, that's nice. There's a statistic here. I will not read this. The JFK Jr. it was just 4%, 5%, and so on. As we detailed earlier, Robert Kennedy Jr. is expected to suspend his presidential race, and if the rumors are true, he will endorse Donald Trump in a stunning rebuke of the party that is inexorably linked to the legacy of his father and his uncle, Brother Jack and Bobby Kennedy. While Richard Truesdell and Kate Lehman point out that RFK Jr. was never a serious candidate, he had a famous name of those of us old enough to remember, a tinge of legitimacy, and a wealthy billionaire running mate to keep the train going. Well, America is full of violence. They're talking about famous people his uncle assassinated. A pretty stupid country, in my opinion. It wasn't enough to reach office, but it got his foot in the door after Robert F.K. Jr. Was shunned by Democrat Party lead insiders in their in their initial effort to prop up husk of a president, Joe Biden. Now they are stuck with Biden's insurance policy, Kamala Harris. It terrified the Dems to have RFK Jr. in the running, so they rigged the rules, ban him from state ballots, and vilify him as extreme. And to dampen his impact on the Harris-Valls ticket, after trying to deny him ballot access and remove RFK Jr. from the state ballots, he made his way to Democrats will now attempt to keep him on ballots to hurt Trump. This is very, very strange to me, you know. The democracy in America is a mess, you know. It's a completely mess. Such hypocrites. He's an environmental attorney, about a left Democrat as you can get. He was expected to capitulate, kiss the crown, and get in the line with everyone else. Instead, he went rogue. He showed them by unexpectedly running as an independent. In exchange for his potential endorsement, what can Trump promise? A cabinet post? Being named director of the FBI to clean up that mess. Or ironically, heading up to the CIA. Maybe after 6 decades, we will find out exactly what was the role of the agency in assassinating his uncle, and if it had any role in his own father's assassination. He's now rumored to be ready to endorse Trump and is expected to announce his campaign suspension in Phoenix, where Trump is scheduled to hold a rally nearby. Coincidence? Unlikely. If this happens, it will take much of the polls and the DNC momentum away from Harris' walls and focus attention on the PR value of RFK Jr.'s endorsement. Imagine the son of RFK and the nephew of JFK endorsing a Republican candidate for the presidency, Donald Trump no less. It will be a net positive gain for Trump, although not much and only for so long. But it could make all the difference in a race that's expected to be tight in the all-important swing states, especially Pennsylvania. After spending millions to keep him off the ballot, the Democratic National Committee released a memo Friday dismissing the potential impact Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s endorsement of Donald Trump will have on the presidential race. It's very, very strange because every single state has their own rules, maybe I'm not sure about, but definitely it's very different from any civilized country, as is not the case of the United States. And two candidates in the same party, what the hell is this? Kamala Harris and Kennedy Jr. What the hell? But what the hell are the parties in the US anyway? The DNC claimed without evidence that the only reason Kennedy was in the race was to be a spoiler candidate to help former President Donald Trump, but derided him as a near negligible factor with no meaningful base of support. The DNC memo purported again without evidence that Trump was at a low point and acting out of desperation. Quote, embracing RFK Jr. now when he has nothing to offer but but months of disqualifying revelations. Is not a decision a campaign makes when they are acting from a position of strength. Tommy! 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 What the hell, Tommy? Tommy was fooling around with Mimi, isn't it? The memo went on to accuse RFK Jr. as having an, quote, unsavory and reckless past, ties to Make America Great Again donors and Make America Great little light positions on abortion bans and January 6 pardons. They assert that his support has dwindled to make him a near negligible factor. The little support that remains is soft, split across ideologies, and this disproportionately among lower propensity voters, with no meaningful base of support and sky high negatives among Democrats. RFK Jr.'s threat to VP Harris was neutralized. The NDC memo stated, the NDC memo argued Kennedy could actually hurt Trump because of his allegedly controversial positions on the January 6th Capitol riot, the September 11 attacks, and vaccines. Right now, in the post-NDC euphoria, Democrats believe that they have positioned Harris to win. Don't be fooled by their misplaced optimism. It's an illusion even when presented by seasoned political analysts like Mark Halperin. Where things stand in the swing states. So this is a huge article. I will leave it here. I guess I don't care, you know. To me, it's just too much bullshit from the US. Who cares? I mean, yeah. The question is, the world changes, you know. That is a bad question. That is a platonic question. Why Kennedy Jr. Why a nephew of Kennedy, the assassinated Kennedy? Why all these Democratic people, they have a nephew, a descendant supporting Trump? That's not the right question, you know? That is not the right question. This is a platonic approach wrong. This is a platonic wrong approach. Because the world changes, you know, the world is not perfect. That's the question. What is happening in the world? America is collapsing. America is collapsing. Do you know that? The public debt is just too much, it's just too high. China will rule the world. China is doing all fine. That's the world we are living in now, you know? And not. So that's it. I'm going to read Russia Today now. I'm going to read some Russia Today. It will be just 17 minutes of Russia Today now. But it's fine. Yeah, so now it's time to read the Ukrainian front of the three front war. So August 24, 2024, home world news. Ukraine has lost 2/3 of U.S. supply tanks. 2/3, oh, so it's a lot. That's the media. I don't know. The latest Abrams M1 tank has been destroyed by Russian forces in the country's Kursk region, Military Watch magazine has reported. We have a file photo. Damaged US made Abrams M1 tank on display in Moscow. Is all destroyed. And they are showing, yeah, nice. A pretty nice country. They take the war rubbish like this tank and they send it to the capital to show the people they are winning. Very interesting. Ukraine has lost 2/3 of its US supplied Abrams M1 main battle tanks in the space of only half a year. Military Watch magazine has reported. The outlet said in an article on Thursday that according to its estimates, close to 20 out of 31 tanks provided to Kiev by Washington have already been destroyed by Russian forces. 20. But that's not too much. That's not much as the World War II, I guess. The latest Abrams was blown up in Russia's Kursk region. Military Watch magazine said, based on videos uploaded by Russian Telegram channels, it appears to be the first American tank lost by Ukraine during its ongoing incursion into internationally recognized Russian territory, it added. The M1 in question had a significantly improved explosive reactive armor as Ukraine took steps to increase the protection of the US-made tanks. Quote, particularly after they took heavy losses in their first engagement with Russian forces in February-April 2024. The report read, however, the Abrams still could not withstand the projectile from a handheld anti-tank missile system, likely a Cornet, with which it had reportedly been hit. It stressed. Military Watch reminded subscribers that Ukrainian troops operating M1s had previously complained to Western media about technical issues, including vulnerability of electronic components to condensation, as well as their vulnerability to Russian fire. Die, Ukrainians, die! The outlet described the Abrams, the German Leopard 2, the British Challenger 2 as the Soviet-era T-80 tanks as scarce tank classes in Ukrainian service. But it also pointed out that while Kiev expects a replacement for its destroyed Leopards from the EU nations, there have been few indications that the US could make further deliveries to Abrams tanks. Russia's defense ministry said on Saturday that since the start of its incursion into Kursk region on August 6, Ukraine has already lost more than 5,550 troops and hundreds of units of military equipment, including 71 tanks. We have a pretty strange news from a young guy. August 24, 2024, Home World News. Telegram founder Durov arrested by French police. Pavel Durov has been detained at Paris Le Bourget Airport, according to local broadcaster LCI. We have a photograph of Telegram founder and CEO Pavel Durov speaks at a conference in Barcelona. Well, is the photograph? He's very young. I guess he is like 25 years old. I will find out. Pavel Durov. I guess he's very, very young. I'm going to ask ChatGPT because Google is not that smart. Pavel Durov. How old is he? Oh no, Durov is 39 years old. So, but he looks very, very young. Anyway, there was just bullshit from me from a bullshit country. So yeah, think twice before coming to Chile. Chilean society is absolutely stupid. Anyway, the Russian founder of the messaging app Telegram, Pavel Durov, has been detained after he arrived in Paris on a private jet. Local broadcaster LCI has reported. Durov, who obtained a French passport in 2021, was arrested at Paris Le Bourget Airport at around 8 p.m. local time, the outlet said on Saturday. He is also associated to the UAE, St. Kitts and Nevis, and his native Russia. His jet arrived in the French capital from Azerbaijan. The 39-year-old had been accompanied by a woman and his bodyguard, it added. According to LCI, the French authorities issued an arrest warrant for the tech entrepreneur as part of a preliminary investigation. Paris believes that Telegram's influence, insufficient moderation, its encryption tools, and alleged lack of cooperation with police could make Durov complicit in drug trafficking, pedophilia offenses, and fraud, it said, and revolution and social revolution from communism. Broadcaster TF1 claimed that Durov is going to appear before a judge tonight. He could be facing up to 20 years in prison, it added. What the hell? 20 years in prison. Due to being a French citizen, the Telegram founder may also face accusations of violating sanctions imposed on Moscow by the EU due to his contacts in Russia. Durov's arrest warrant was only legitimate on the territory of France. Quote, he made a mistake tonight. We don't know why, a source close to the investigation told TF1 LCI. Quote, in any case, he's locked up. Lock it up. Anyway, so terrible times we are facing. Terrible times. Everybody's in jail. I'm just going to read a news I never read. I will search for Daniel Jadwe. Daniel Jadwe's situation. How is Daniel Jadwe? Daniel Jadwe news. Of course, this is Spanish. And we just have right here in Chile, we only have cheat newspapers. Look, La Tercera, Bio Chile, Mega Noticias, CNN Chile, Prensa Latina. It's all bullshit. But this is another one. Look, Prensa Latina maybe is not that bad. Daniel Jadwe is publishing a book. Actually, he's in prison, but is publishing a book about Palestine. This was 3 hours ago. The Writers Chilean Society, the present the book Palestine, Chronic of I don't know how to say assedio, but assedio is like, I don't know. He's from the sociologist Daniel Jadwe, who is in prison, preventive prison. Why he's so in prison if it is preventive? From a process considered unfair and disproportionate. This is by Carmen Esquivel. Daniel is one of our majors, more innovatives in the municipal history of Chile. He created popular pharmacies, popular libraries, and a series of intelligent ways of doing Recoleta, the city on which he was major, an effective communitarian space. Said in the presentation, Diamela Eltit. So it's not so short, but I'm translating, so that is not so easy. But it is a nice exercise. I'm going to translate some more, just to translate the major ideas. So this is a new book from Daniel Jadwe. Says Daniel Jadwe was in the Palestine. Daniel Jadwe, I know he is a Palestinian descendant. You know, if you don't know, today just 70 Palestinians died. 70 Palestinians died in Gaza today. That's the terrible world we live in. So, my opinion, Palestinians should come to Chile or Colombia or even Venezuela. Why not Brazil? How many left there? So, forget about Israel. So Jadwe is still in prison, but before going to prison, he was also the first. My opinion, the situation of journalism in Chile is so bad. Daniel Jadwe was the first great analyst, the first great political podcaster in the whole Chilean history. That's my opinion about how bad Chile is. He's the only one. Daniel Jadwe, it is the only one. There's no option, you know. And me, of course, but I don't speak Spanish because I hate these people. That's the whole truth about this red hole.
De la Universidad San Sebastián con la Municipalidad de Recoleta y de la denuncia por negociación incompatible, ¿no?, contra el exintendente Guevara, también puesta por el alcalde de Recoleta, y esos mensajes se filtraron. Entonces nosotros queremos saber qué dicen los mensajes y queremos saber qué autoridades de los gobiernos pasados y de los gobiernos actuales, del gobierno actual, tienen intercambios con Hermosilla. Se ha dicho que hay algunos actores del gobierno actual que le dicen tío a don Luis Hermosilla, ¿no? Y que por lo tanto podrían tener intercambios, o sea, que yo no lo puedo creer, todavía no lo puedo creer, yo espero que alguna vez alguien nos diga la verdad, de que Crispi habría negociado con Hermosilla, ¿no?, el que no se procesara a Piñera por violación a los derechos humanos, a través de Hermosilla con Chadwick. Entonces uno dice, bueno, pero que alguien nos dé una explicación, ¿no? Que alguien nos dé una explicación de por qué, ¿no?, el fiscal nacional intenta tapar, ¿no?, y dice que algunos chats de Hermosilla están resguardados por el secreto profesional. Si son constitutivos de delito, ¿cómo van a estar amparados por el secreto profesional?
No, pero la pregunta es, ¿qué pasa con un señor como el abogado Luis Hermosilla? A propósito de esta campaña, Chile quiere saber que él mismo se autodefine con conducta ilícita, todo el mundo lo sabe, y la justicia que toma para detener a un personaje que claramente es un peligro para la sociedad. Entonces yo me pregunto, ¿qué elementos tiene la justicia chilena que no puede acceder a este tipo de personajes? ¿Es inubicable? ¿Dónde está él? ¿En la Baticueva, por ejemplo?
Mira, nadie tiene duda de que Hermosilla trabaja para los poderes fácticos de este país, así conocidos por todo el mundo, ¿no? Nadie tiene desconocimiento de que una consejera del Consejo de Defensa del Estado salió a decir que se iba al Consejo de Defensa del Estado porque estaba aburrida, porque estaba cooptado por los poderes fácticos y que efectivamente estaba además profundamente politizado. Por lo tanto, uno puede empezar a sacar conclusiones de quizás por qué la justicia, con esta fiscalía, con este ministerio público, que es muy ágil, incluso para impedir la salida de algunas autoridades que no tienen medidas cautelares fuera del país en un viaje de 2 días, pero que se le escapan los criminales por todas partes y que deja escapar a otros. O sea, esto de que se haya cerrado la causa de Ponce Lerú por el caso Casco.
Anyway, so long story short, learning Spanish doesn't work. It doesn't work, Tommy. Never speak Spanish. Tommy, I know you understand something of Spanish, boy. Forget about it, you know. You have to speak English, boy. Boy, Tommy. My Nordic pig. My Nordic pig. And my I don't know. Look, it's like Dalmatian, my Dalmatian cow. So yeah, you know, and well, Daniel Jadue was almost the only good thing about Chilean Spanish language, understand? He was just committing himself with this country full of nothing, you know, really nothing. It is just politicians doing what? Drinking wine, fucking whores, and Chilean society say, oh no, they was fucking whore, they were fucking whores on a yacht, and that's terrible. The whores were Ukrainians and Argentinians. Well, who cares, you know? Who cares about all this fucking crap? You know, no, geography is great. Trees are great. Dogs are great, but society is just shit.